Well, I'll let you guys do it then.
So there we are, and we're live. It is Sunday, November the 4th, the first Sunday of the month. So you know what that means, folks? It's roundtable time. We're waiting on JJ. He's currently recording. He should be joining us at some point. Ricky, of course, is who knows. We texted him. We'll see. But joining us tonight, we have roundtable regular Guitar Hack out of Toronto.
Good hey, everybody.
And we've got the super sub roundtable member Terry in the house. Good to see you, Terry.
Thanks for having me back.
Hey, of course. This is what, the third time in a week. Last Sunday, Thursday, and
Keep
today.
Keep going.
And then we got Mr. Dave Nesdall in the house as well.
Hey.
Good to see you. Awesome. Awesome. We got a bunch of people jumping in on the chat, so we'll check roll call in just a minute here. Oh, but you guys, but I think fall is turning into winter, it feels like. It's been hovering around the freezing mark, at least in this neck of the woods, all day. I'm not too impressed, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cold here, too.
I've already seen frost on the car, and I mean, it's October. It's not good. It was October.
2 days ago or whatever, Tuesday, there was frost up here. I was just like, no.
Yeah, that's not cool. So we got Scott Nickerson in the house. We have Arvin Gaunt. We have my sister Amanda. Hey, sis. We got John Parson. We got Gussie Wells. We got JJ letting us know that he's going to be late. We got Michael Bishop in the house. We got some guy named Terry's GG&G. We've got Cheddar Kung Pao. Good to see you, brother. Brian Cote, Earl Painter, Michael B, Frank C, Broken Chains. Good to see you. Broken Chains is going to be coming on the channel later this month, so cool. Tune in for that. And we got David Ennis saying hello as well. Showman Blues. Awesome. Awesome stuff. We got 26 people watching already. Awesome stuff.
Cool. Hey, everybody.
See, everyone's jumping in. You wrap up roll call, right? Everyone keeps jumping in. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yes, yes, yes. So I'm curious. You got a little repair work done there, Pepper. Were you using that same guitar last night?
Yes, I was. Last night. Are you kidding me? That thing has not left my hand since I got it back. That's Blackie. Blackie is like my go-to Les Paul, man. I love that thing. And it just... Yesterday was seamless. Nothing went out of tune on me. It was perfect. No issues whatsoever, and it sounded damn good. I love that thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what year is that one?
It's a 2005 standard.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought it used, all beat to hell, but it sounds great and plays great. That's all that matters.
That's usually the way it goes, isn't it? Some of the ones
it was loved, and it's now loved again.
Yeah. What was wrong with it?
I was the high E string kept going out on me, and it happened at a gig about 2 weeks ago, which it was so frustrating. I pulled the string off it because usually what happens is it'll unravel right at the bridge.
Right.
But the string was fine. I replaced it, between sets, and then it happened again. So I think it was the gears on the tuning key. So I had that replaced, and then I got a setup done and everything, and the thing just plays great now and just sounds fantastic. So real happy with it.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's strange, string unraveling at the bridge.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. Right at the ball end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's happened to me. Or it's lost tension. It's pulled out. Yeah, it's happened to me a couple times.
I think I've had a couple go on, and it's usually more the Tune-O-Matic style bridge where it happens for whatever reason.
Yeah. So that was a fun night. It was a fun night. This was weird. We were at this bar just 2 weeks ago, and it's like you never play the same place that close together. It's kind of, but man, we had a great night. It was so much fun. People were right with us the whole. You got time for a quick funny story?
Sure.
So this is kind of funny. So we'd finished the show basically, and I was dying to take a leak. Right? Too many beers. So I was dying to take a leak. So the show's over. I put my guitar down, and it's like, guys, I gotta take a leak. I run downstairs to the bathroom. So I'm down there taking a leak, and all I hear above is my name being called out over the PA, and everybody screaming. And I'm like, it's like, hey man, too much pressure. It's like I had to get it done, get back upstairs because I wanted an encore. So that I thought that was pretty funny. So we went up, we did Highway to Hell, and everybody was happy. It's funny, man. You had to be there.
So which head did you use last night?
Last night I used my Hughes and Kettner. I got it right here, actually. You can see that thing.
Nice.
Yeah, my that thing sounded fantastic. It's a 36-watt two-meister head, and I used my 212 Hughes and Kettner cab with vintage 30s. It just smoked. Everything just sounded good last night. Just one of those nights, you know what I mean? Once in a while where everything just sounds great. The tone I was just so happy.
Yeah, you're playing with your chest out to hear.
Oh God, yeah. Everything I hit was like, you know what I mean? I could have given my guitar to a chimp and it would have sounded great. You know what I mean? It's just one of those nights. Yeah, it was cool, man. It was fun.
Very cool. And I just want to say we got Frank C. Scott Nickerson is back. Todd Flowers, Adam EVH, and Mark So's Images. If I missed you earlier, awesome. Welcome all. If you're digging what we're talking about, please leave a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or any news you've heard or anything, feel free, comment or ask away, and we'll get to your questions for sure. Awesome stuff. So, is the honeymoon still going, Dave, with that gem?
That would be yes.
Okay, sir.
I was wondering what he was noodling on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of my favorite guitars.
Yeah.
But really, I have to give a shout out to two people, actually. To Desiree, my fiance, that bought me this amazing strap for our engagement.
Oh, that is cool.
Nice.
And the company is called Red Monkey. Red Monkey Designs. And there's only this exact strap. There's only 3 of them in the world. Steve Lukather owns one of them. There's a Japanese guy that owns one, and I have the 3rd one ever made. They made it for me. It's amazing. It's just what a great strap.
That looks fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I dig it.
That's nice of her.
It's real alligator on top of a piece of thick leather.
Wow.
It's got a great buckle on the back of it. It's just
yeah.
What a crazy cool thing this is.
Right on. I dig it.
Yeah,
I can see Vi using a strap along those lines, like especially at that time frame. It works.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, I love it.
So, David,
you got a new EVH cab as well, didn't you? For your
yeah, I'm playing out of 3 EVH 212s now. I don't know if you can hear it.
Wow. That's a full sound.
Yeah. It's not very loud in here, but it's huge. It's big.
It was loud enough to make the YouTube compression kick in.
Yeah. It always does. It always does. But it's actually at bedroom volume.
Right.
It's not. I think the volume on the head it's under 1.
I've only ever seen one person play on Hangouts and it sound great, and that was last week when I had Larry Mitchell on. He was new, and it wasn't compressing. It didn't sound like at all like it's underwater or anything like that. I could not believe how it was coming through.
He probably had his AX8 on, and he was probably playing through. You can switch on the settings of this thing. You can switch to studio. He probably had that going, so it's.
Yeah, he wasn't. That was the scare part. He wasn't even switching. And I think he was on his iPad.
Oh, he might have been playing through iRig on his iPad.
Maybe. No. He was using his Axe FX, but it's Larry Mitchell, right? He dialed it in.
Yeah.
Beautiful sound.
He's incapable of sounding bad. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he threw me for a loop when he asked if I could give him a lesson on slide guitar because he just got a slide the other day, and I went, really?
Sure. And after that, I'll show Joe Bonamassa how to play blues.
You could give him a lesson. You can say, here's the slide.
Yeah.
You put it on your finger like this.
Yeah.
Here. Now go.
Well, I will tell you, slide is not easy. It's definitely, there's a knack to it, and I can't do it.
I can't do it.
I can't play slide the way, you know, a good slide player plays.
Yeah. I do just enough to get by in a bar band. I believe that's what I said on that video, wasn't it, Hack? I just said, like, this is basically what I know, and I literally titled it, Dave, like, the very basics of slide. So I showed a few different ways to tune your guitar, technique, and that was it. Here you go, folks. Here's the basic tools. Check it out.
My technique is I have a second guitar player that plays slide.
I wouldn't say that, Ben, I wouldn't say your video on showing how to kind of play slide was very basic. I think it was actually a little advanced because most people, it would be just simply grab the guitar, grab a slide, and play. They wouldn't actually go into the different tunings and so forth like you did. So, I mean, you actually did a very detailed and great job in that for anyone who did want to know how to play slide.
Well, thank you. I think, you and I were talking about that, I think off air, how because the background I grew up in, it wasn't a question, like you say, just pick up and start using a slide on guitar. It was harder for me to see somebody playing slide on a standard tuned guitar because I'm from the world of pedal steel and lap steel where everything's tuned to a chord.
Yep.
I'll tell you three people that play slide in standard tuning amazingly. Of course, Derek Trucks, Warren Haynes, and Andy Alador. Those three guys are monsters at playing slide, whether it's an open tuning or whether it's standard tuning. They're just, all three of them are crazy.
Yeah,
I agree. Speaking of which, Pepper, did you see some slide playing the other night?
Yes,
you went out to see Mr. Bonamassa in concert?
Yeah, I had the good fortune of seeing Joe Bonamassa. I've been a fan of Joe's for a long time, and he was playing at a really nice theater here in Toronto too. Nice in the sense that it was a beautiful theater and the acoustics were just fantastic.
Whereabouts?
It's at the Sony Performing Center, right downtown, front and right on the corner of Front and Young. And
is that the old O'Keefe Center? Is that the old O'Keefe Center?
So. I think so.
Okay, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, and I gotta say that I think I heard on Friday the best live guitar tone I've ever heard in my life. It was insane how good this guitar sounded. You know what I mean? Like that comment I made about a chimp. Yeah, a chimp would have sounded great on his gear. Like it was just fantastic. And the guitar that blew me away, because I thought being a Les Paul guy, I would love the I would love the Les Paul tone, but the tone that got me the most was the Flying V that he pulled out.
Oh, he's using Amos, the one with the black pickguard.
Yes, it was a Koa. The Koa.
Well, it's
that color. I don't know.
It's Karina.
Karina.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's an original 58.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, that's the one. But I mean, what I was hearing was the guy. He had everything dying, and like you can actually hear, like I've never heard that before. The actual growl of the tubes. It was so rich. All right, it was rich. It was so warm, and all those overtones. Like, oh my God, everything he played sounded unbelievable. I mean, plus
when you figure 3 super reverbs or 3 super twins and 2 dumbles up there,
doesn't hurt to have $1 million guitar in your hands either.
Yeah.
Because that's $1 million, that guitar.
Yep.
But my God, like just. And of course, I mean, he's a phenomenal player. That that doesn't need to be, But to hear that tone out of with that guy playing, out of those hands, and the band he had, man, he had Anton Fig on the drums. Like, come on,
Yeah.
Probably the best drummer in the world, or one of the best. You know, this whole backup band was unbelievable. He had the Reese Winans, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
Player
You've never seen any videos of that band play?
Not that lineup, no.
That lineup has been with him for, I think, the last 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, the only video I've got is the Royal Albert Hall show.
Oh yeah, that's before those guys.
That's before those guys, yes. But just unbelievable. I can't say enough. He sold out both nights, eh? He played Saturday too.
Nice.
Yeah.
I want to say hello to Jamal, joined us. Matthew and Ed joined us. Greetings, one and all. Yeah. Some beautiful eye candy to watch for sure when Bonamassa plays. And then, like say, those tones and great band. And he's been doing it so long, and he is, a consummate professional up there.
What was really cool too is I took my daughter. That's the first concert she's ever seen. So I think I spoiled her for life. But she'll never hear or see anything that good again.
Well, it's especially good to see Bonamassa in North America because that he's going to have all the cool guitars with him.
Yeah.
There's no insurance. He doesn't have to pay insurance to take him across the world.
Yeah.
They're with him. So very little flying. So he's going to have all the good stuff with him.
Exactly. Oh, it was amazing.
Awesome. So the highlight would have been that V, I would think. Yeah, because that's such a rare guitar. We all know the story.
Yeah. He's playing this leg. I believe he took two 1960 Les Pauls with him.
Yeah.
A 56 that was converted to 59. The dark black to brown. It's a very small patch of brown on it, but it's mostly dark black. And a few 335s, like mid 60 335s.
Well, I'll tell you what he used. He used a 335. He's actually first song out. He came out with a Strat.
Yeah.
It was a Strat. It was
55, a 55 Strat and a couple of tellies too.
He brought out the one telly. He played the Les Paul that you were talking about, and then he played the V. Those were the guitars he used that night. He took pictures of all of them.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's like when I saw Tom Petty during his last tour, and it was just it was like they rated Norm's Rare Guitars for their back line, eh?
Yeah.
Just crazy.
Yeah. And he said he was smelling smoke. I think he might have blown one of his amps.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. At the end, he goes, I smell smoke back here. So, I don't know.
Not that he doesn't have about 15 to replace one if it goes down.
Probably.
No. Yeah. Yeah. I give his techs a lot of credit because, you're working with vintage gear and you got to keep that stuff up and running, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, he's got one guy that he's been with forever, and they're like best buddies.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, he came on stage like before they showed up. He came on stage, grabbed the guitar, hit a chord. Somebody else hit the keys just to make sure everything was working because that wasn't a sound check. Yeah, and that's sort of the last thing they did before the band came on and played. Sort of like a sanity check there at the end. But yeah, I know the guy you're talking about. I don't know his name, but long-haired guy. Yeah,
was he wearing a Van Halen cap?
I could make out a silhouette. I couldn't really see what he was wearing on his head, but yeah. It was his tech he's the guy on the Rig Rundown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's funny. His name escapes me at the moment.
I'm horrible with names.
I'll tell you a story. This had to have been like 1994 or 95. Was it that? Hang on a second, I got to think. Yeah, about 1994 or 95, I was on the road with Larry Mitchell.
Oh, cool.
As his tech, and we would drive in my Nissan Sentra with his full gear, 2 412 cabinets, if you can believe it. We fit it all in my car, like
impressive.
5 guitars and this rack. And we went up to Keene, New Hampshire. and we stayed at Mike Hickey is his name.
Okay.
Mike Hickey is his name. We stayed at his house.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't working for Bonamassa back then, but yeah, we stayed at his house because it was a sleepover. There's no way we were traveling, you know, the next that night.
Mm-hmm.
But we stayed at his house, and it was quite something. You walk in, and there's this Jewish guy and this black guy, and you walk into the house, and it's filled with World War II German paraphernalia and swastikas and all kinds of stuff. And it was just, you know, it's not that he, you know, hates Jews or blacks or anything, because he doesn't. He's the sweetest guy.
Yeah.
But it was just, you know, it was like a historian thing for him.
Yeah, yeah.
The whole time period it's historic, and that's the way its house was. And me and Larry looked at each other like, what did we get into? This thing? Very funny.
Scott Nickerson has a question. Dave, do you know by chance where to get solid brass knobs to act as counterbalance for an SG? It plays awesome otherwise.
No, I don't think brass knobs would do it. I think if you get yourself a good leather strap that's not going to make the guitar go whoop like this, that should do it. Get a good heavy leather strap, and,
Yeah,
and that should keep the guitar stable.
Yeah, that's what I do. I got a really wide black strap, and I don't have that sliding problem.
3-inch wide and a suede back would probably be ideal, as long as you don't have like slippery material on for a shirt or a coat or whatever.
Yeah. So I got 3-inch wide levy strap. Works fine.
Yep. Hey, Paul Lou, and hello, Daniel Roger. Good to see you. Michael B. Yeah, I did the same thing. My Mockingbird had a bit of head dive, and by putting a wider leather strap that just gripped that much more, it made a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolute mayhem. I don't think I said hi to him earlier, and of course he says get a strap with spikes.
Yeah, just put the spikes reversed.
Spikes
so
up
inside with your arm.
Yeah.
Velcro, and don't manscape.
Manscaped.
Oh Lord.
Todd Flowers,
There
can
we
you
go.
attach the strap like on an acoustic? That would also do it, what Todd Flowers suggested, but
You
it
don't
kind of
want
look a little funny.
no.
Oh, you mean with the leather ties up here at the headstock?
Yeah, tie it right behind the nut.
Like
Yeah.
yeah.
No.
No, I don't want to be Joan Baez. That's not cool looking.
No.
So, I tried playing a guitar like that, but man, it's just so like, because you're always seeing the strap out of the corner of your eye a lot more. It was just very off-putting.
Yeah.
9 Fathoms, Eddie Van Haskell. Good to see both of you. 9 Fathoms says jugs of water make good counterweights. Sure.
No, not to mention the other thing as well too is how you position your arm. If you're one of these players where you kind of have your arm in a higher position, that strap would actually get in the way you're playing.
True.
Yeah.
Though I don't see too many people that play with their arms like really up high.
You never know. Takes all kinds.
Yeah.
I was going to actually mention, Pepper, you put up a video, what, about a couple hours ago now, of noodling on some blues. That was a bit of a different thing out of you.
Well, I had Shane on, and we were getting into the whole discussion about blues, and you know, he got me thinking. It's like I can't play blues to save my life, right? So I thought, let me just give it a shot. so that was just literally I found a backing track, plugged in a Strat just to get a little different kind of flavor, and just winged it for whatever that 5 minutes or whatever it was, and put it up. So it was my attempt at blues. You know, It's something that I should actually do more of, you know, because when you're playing that, you really got to focus more. You know what I mean? I mean, because every note counts, and it really helps you with spacing and timing and phrasing and nuances and all that kind of stuff. I have a really, I mean, and then seeing Bonamassa on Friday kind of got me going too. So, you know, it's just, I got so much respect for guys that can do that and do that well, because that's a, you know, that's a whole other thing right there.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Well, what genre of music do you normally play?
I'm a rock guy, basically. So I still play blues, but more rock blues as opposed to blues. If that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm in a cover band, so you know, whatever the solo is of that particular song, right? Or
yeah,
rough approximation. It's basically. Sure.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, Matthew Lamont says playing authentic blues is the hardest thing to do. Well, a lot of times, you know, you're going with a cleaner tone, right? And like you say, it's slowed down where every note counts, and there's not as much to hide behind, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's you know, it's definitely a good thing to do if you want to work on your phrasing, for sure. You know.
I agree. Yeah, we got a DKG Custom in the house. Welcome. New name in the chat. We got 43 people watching on a Sunday night. Awesome stuff.
Cool.
Old name to me, new name to you.
Okay, fair enough.
I've known Duncan for quite a few years.
Well, welcome, Duncan. Cool. So is there any pieces of gear out there on the want list for any of you guys? I know I'm trying to curtail myself, although I may be getting a rack delay next week, so, or this week, coming week, I guess now.
What delay?
Elisa's Quadriverb.
Wow.
Yeah, Richie's got it up for sale. He doesn't want it. He was fooling around with it. He's like, oh, check out this ping pong delay I'm doing with a 2-amp setup. And as he's flipping through, I saw the word detune, and I went, I want that. And I blame guys like you, Dave.
1987 all over again.
Yep.
Hey, it goes with that Kramer you got then.
Exactly. So, yeah, I figure I got a few amps back here, so I'm going to set up a stereo rig and have some
Nothing
fun
wrong with it. I got it going on here. Ping pong delay. It's just out of a TC unit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess you can't hear it.
Doesn't translate.
I can hear it. I could hear it pan a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured he wants like, I don't know, $60 or something for the rack unit. So I figured, you know what, you'd spend that on the fiddle.
You can't go wrong for that. I mean, that. I remember when that piece was brand new, it was $450.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he had it given to him for doing a couple of setups on a couple of guitars for a buddy of ours.
Wow.
Nice.
Yep.
That's a pretty nice bonus for sure.
Well, that's the thing. Nobody wants rack gear, right? For whatever reason.
Because it's just another piece of gear to carry around.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just, you know, now that you have a piece of rack gear, you got to put it in a rack.
Yeah.
And then you got to carry that rack along with the amplifier and pedal board because there's no overdrive in that. You know?
Yep.
No wall.
Yeah, I'm using it to gig, but we shall see. I may put together a mini rack unit. We'll see.
Oh, man. You try to carry less, Ben, not more.
Meanwhile, they got little units like yay big that can do it all.
Yeah.
You know, once you get the the Quadriverb in the rack, then you got to get a Furman power supply in the rack.
Then
and then you need a rack compressor for your clean sounds.
Oh man.
It just and now you need a power amp.
Yeah. Well, power amps, I have a few rack power amps laying around, so I'm fortunate there.
So that's at least a 4-space rack right there, at least.
Yeah. Currently, I think I have a 4-space and 8-space rack units kicking around now. One of them's got our power amps for the PA system, and then I think another one we just have some EQs sitting in it.
So Brian
says, Ben, you're going against the grain. Yep.
Brian Cote is saying just get a Helix.
Yep. Helix Stomp that just got launched. It's got pretty good reviews.
Mm.
And Mayhem says he's got his new LTD is in the shop getting set up, and then he's going to have to make the trip over here afterwards for me to check it out. You're more than welcome to come on by, buddy. You know that. He says all his guitars need the Coombs christening.
Nice.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, definitely. Like what my bud, who's gotten into the higher end guitars and he barely knows how to play. It's like what he does with me. He goes, here, thought maybe you'd like to try it out. And I'm like, so in other words, you want to hear how it actually sounds? He's like, yeah, pretty much. Okay.
Problems asks, anyone have experience with the Behringer KM750 power amp? Not me personally. I've always used PV power amps myself, so.
Yeah. I can't say I have.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Behringer. No one repairs them. It's a disposable thing. Once they break, you throw them away.
Yeah.
A lot of technologies like that nowadays, though.
Yeah, but there's no repair station will fix Behringer.
Yeah. And then that's a totally different thing for sure, yeah.
They'll say in their marketing the fact that there's more Behringer dealers that you can take it to if you have a problem. But then if it's going to get sent off, it gets sent back to Germany. As opposed to PV, they'll just send it down to the warehouse in Mississippi and they ship you another one.
Well, I don't know. Now they got China-produced stuff. I don't know if they've changed that lately.
Yeah, I don't know if they would go direct to Asia or not, but yeah, because I go through, power amps. If you're running PA systems there all the time, you're going to go through power amps. They do have a lifespan. I know I'm due to replace mine. I've got about 3 years on mine, and I don't like going much more than 3 years on a power amp.
Yeah. Brian Cote says that he will be releasing a new jam video tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Iron Maiden, all guitars and bass recorded with the Helix.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah, he puts up some good stuff.
Yeah, he does. He's a great player, man.
Another Toronto guy.
I believe he's in Alliston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's about 40, 45, 50 minutes away from me then.
Yeah, he's not that far out. Yeah. Oh, by the way, on Pete Thorne's chat today, I think it was you, Ben, was saying that he's coming to Cosmo Music on December 4th.
December 4th?
Is he doing a guitar demo thing, or what's he doing?
Yeah, product demo with a meet and greet afterwards. It runs from 7 p.m. to 8:30. That's on a Tuesday. Unfortunately, I work until 6, and I wouldn't be able to get there before 7:30.
Okay. I'm sure. I'm assuming it's the Sur guitar thing that he's doing, right?
No, I think it might even be something to do with like impulse response. There's a whole bunch of stuff I saw listed, but Sur guitar is involved as well.
Yeah, I got to check the website because that's something I'd love to meet Pete Thorne, man.
Yeah, I just did a search, honestly, when he mentioned it during his hangout today, I just did a search, Cosmo Music, Pete Thorne, and boom, it was like the third result on Google.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I got to look into that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's tickets for it.
Yeah, I saw Guthrie Govan there a couple of years ago. Man, you want to talk about a player?
Oh, I know.
The guy's not human, man. He was crazy.
Brian says he's got tickets to Pete Thorne, and it's about home recording gear.
Home recording, okay. So the tickets are already on sale. I got to look into that.
Yeah. A month from today.
That's why he got the bass at GitCon.
So it's so funny, I love. First of all, I have to say I love Pete Thorne. I think he's fantastic. He's one of the best players on the planet. But it's so funny nowadays when we're buying tickets to see a YouTuber.
Yeah, I know.
You know, it blows my mind. Granted that particular YouTuber is one of the most amazing guitar players, but he's a YouTuber. He's not Eddie Van Halen. He's not Jimi Hendrix, although he's amazing. You know, I'm just saying. Yeah, it's funny that people are going crazy. You know, it's the internet is very strange thing.
Yeah, it's. I thought the same thing. You know, like you see a lot of stuff with Pete Thorne and Phil X, and it's like two Canucks that relocated to LA, became session players. You know, and they've done some hired gun stuff as well. But largely, it's been YouTube.
Yeah. It gets their name out there. Like, I don't think I would know who Pete Thorne was if it wasn't for YouTube. Phil X, I know, because I've known about Phil X. I'm in Toronto. He's local.
Yeah.
Phil X has been.
I knew about Pete Thorne, actually, Broken Chains mentioned he was Chris Cornell's guitar player for years. But I actually knew when he was playing with Jewel, because we're like, hey, it's a Canadian that's backing up Jewel.
Yeah, and I know he's played with Melissa Etheridge, and he's done all those things, but his main gig is he's a YouTuber. That's his main gig. You know, he does more of that than anything. Product demo on YouTube.
Demos, yeah.
You know, and that's I'm not putting it down. I'm just saying that it's like, you know, we're treating it as the same as, you know, going to see Iron Maiden in 1985. You know, it's how things have changed. It's crazy. And Phil X, as far as I'm concerned, I love him too. But, you know, I knew him from Fred and Americana, you know, just demoing guitars.
Yep.
And that's how he got the gig, you know, playing with Bon Jovi.
Right.
Because he's got a great shtick too. You know, he acts like a freak. And he's not really a freak. He's just a normal guy that does this act thing when he's, you know, when the camera's on him. Another great guitar player though. Yeah. But I knew him from the internet, not because of who he's played with.
Right.
Yeah, I fully agree.
That's just simply how things have evolved. The internet is now your new exposure platform. So whether it be music, gaming, cooking, and so forth, you know, you're going to get more exposure online than you are going to do, you know, going around doing a tour.
Yeah.
Very much so. Hey, see, we've got Jimmy T joining us and Citizen Kane as well. Welcome, guys. Jimmy T may have some trivia for Pepper and I. He always likes to throw some Kiss trivia.
Kiss trivia. Bring it on, brother.
Those guys are still alive?
Hey.
Oh, God.
Get me started.
Pepper, was it you that shared that spoof poster of the 2028 tour?
No, that wasn't me.
Somebody had done one. It was like Kiss, the final reunion.
Yeah.
But the funny part is, we photoshopped it. But I'm sorry, the guy who was Ace looks like Jake E. Lee with Ace's makeup on.
Yeah.
Like it looks like Jake E. Lee today with Ace's makeup.
Yeah. Well, I got my tickets. They're coming next year. Is it March? I think March. Anyways, they're coming to what used to be the ACC. Now it's Scotia. Whatever.
The Scotia Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
the
coming.
hockey rink.
Yeah, the hockey rink. Yeah, they're coming there. So.
Are they actually playing their instruments and singing? Singing? Because weren't they just on a couple of talk shows and it was all pre-recorded?
Well, here's the thing. Okay, Paul Stanley has very well publicized. He's been having for a while now well publicized vocal issues. So, this is I saw Kiss just last year, and it was painful to listen to Paul's thing. It was. I felt bad for this guy, but he keeps trying and he keeps going out there and he keeps doing it. Gene, on the other hand, Gene sounds like Gene. He's fine. Yeah,
well, he never really sang. He just talked his parts really.
Well,
I thought he had some songs back in the day.
How hard is it to do that?
All right, I'm not gonna go there. But anyway, you're touching a nerve. But anyways, I've been a Kiss fan since I was 11 years old. But anyway, so you've got basically everything that Paul was singing. Eric Singer, which is the drummer, he was kind of singing right behind him, kind of thing, kind of trying to hide the, But it was blatantly obvious that his voice was shot, and it's not been what it is for years. But apparently, so when they announced this tour saying it was 2 or 3 years, I thought, oh my God, like, how's this guy going to pull it off? But he's doing some kind of therapy, this and that, and da-da-da-da. I don't expect, I'll be honest, I mean, I don't expect him to sound that great when I go see him. I just don't think, because his voice is gone, right? But it's Kiss, and it's the last time, and being a fan since I was 11 years old, I would kick myself if I didn't go. Like, I've seen them probably over 20 times. And I'd kick myself if I didn't see the last show, right? It's just something I have to do, right? But it's funny though, because there's a lot of bands of that generation, and it's funny how some voices are gone and then other ones are still intact. And for me, it's Rob Halford from Judas Priest, who can still melt your face. That guy's voice is still maybe not as good, but he's like 90-95% of what he was. He can still belt. He's still got a pretty good voice. Bruce Dickinson is another one, who can still sing pretty well, right? Geddy Lee, on the last tour I saw, he was already starting to lose his range a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
He still sounded pretty good, but he still sounded good.
Well, I mean, yeah, he sings on key. He just chooses
Drop.
where. Yeah,
they dropped the tuning, but he still sounded pretty good. But there's some guys that just, I think they should just pack it in. And I'm saying this as a Kiss fan, so. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to pull it off, to be honest with you. I don't know how they're going to do it.
I can honestly say Dee Snider actually sounds better than what he did originally with Twisted Sister.
Yeah, well,
there are a few instances where lead singers have actually gotten better with age. It doesn't happen a lot, but
yeah, there are.
He's also clean and sober now.
Yeah, that can be a big factor too.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, I think JC Smith, good to see you, brother. He wins the chat for greetings. Hello, square pegs in a round table.
We are but the square pegs in the round table.
9 Fathoms is asking, will Ace and Peter show up? I'm doubtful that Peter will show up. I think Ace might do the odd opening thing, but Ace is already saying that he won't do it if Tommy Thayer's in Ace outfit, so I don't know what's going to happen then.
Which kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
Coming out without makeup even and doing a song with them or something. But
I thought that's what was going to happen, but then he went on and some show or magazine and he kiboshed that. He said, I won't do it. I won't open for them. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, I don't want to steal this, turn this into a Kiss conversation because I could go on all night. So
that's okay. I'm a Kiss fan too. No,
I want to steer in that direction. So,
well, I'm sure Dave will take Kiss over Metallica, anyways.
Oh, you don't like Metallica, Dave?
I hate Metallica. Yeah.
So it's you.
No, you know what? Let me. I don't like Kirk Hammett. I don't mind Metallica. James Hetfield's very talented. He sings his ass off.
Yeah.
Great guitar player.
What I want to know is what happened to Kirk Hammett.
What happened to him?
Yeah, because his early stuff I was good with, and then somebody gave him a wah pedal, and it's been over since then.
It's not even that. His guitar tone sounds like a bunch of gnats flying around that you want to go like this. Get out of here. You know?
Yeah. The Black Album, that's when he started using it, if I'm not mistaken. And then I anything since then has not done anything for me. So I've been off Metallica since the Black Album, basically.
Yeah, same here. I gave up on them by that time. Their biggest album, and I was like, nope.
Oh, I still sound
musically too. But
they
hey,
still
we got Art tuning in. Good to see you.
I gave up when they started doing the Napster thing, and then also on top of that, a few years back they went after the Canadian tribute band.
Oh, right.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then eventually got so much traction online and everybody like saying like, hey, you can't do that to this, that they finally came around. They were like, okay, yeah, we contacted and talked to them. Everything's cool again. It's like, yeah, save face. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Metallica would be great if they fired him if they fired
Kurt?
Kurt and hired Alex Skolnick to play.
Oh man, there's a guitar and a half right there. Yeah,
I could see that. That'd be a really good fit too.
I think Alex would be great in that band.
Well, hey, they got rid of Dave Mustaine, so.
Well, have you seen him play lately? He's horrible too.
Well, I've never been a big Megadeth fan. Like some of the stuff, but not all of it. But yeah, I mean, everybody's getting up there in years.
Yeah.
I got to call a spade a spade. There are a lot of old guys that play amazingly.
True.
I'm not going to blame it on age. I'm going to blame it on just, too much partying. The party never stops. And how about practice? How about, ear training? How about just tune your guitar?
That's a good point.
You just reminded me of something, Dave. There was, it's probably long gone. I can't remember if it's on Facebook or YouTube, but there's this video of this kid who had a Les Paul guitar and he wanted Ted Nugent to play it. I don't know if anybody saw that. It's recent. It's over the last 6 months or so. And the kid was I think he was just recording with his phone. So Ted Nugent grabs his guitar, Les Paul, and he's got it into an amp. No effects, just straight into the amp. And my God, that guy's unfreaking believable.
Yeah, Ted's great. Great guitar player.
Unbelievable player. Like, he just had the chops. He had that whole rock and roll thing going. It was unfreaking believable. And he just sat there and ripped for a good 5-10 minutes. And he handed the kid back his guitar. He goes, yeah, it's a good one. Like, wow. Yeah. So
interesting. I guess he's basing it on feel, considering he's got, 80 to 90% of his hearing lost?
He sounded great, man.
Oh, yeah. I like Nugent.
It's
controversial.
Yeah, well, I'm just talking about his playing. I couldn't.
Yeah, I don't care about his political views at all.
Yeah,
whatever. He's just a great guitar player, great performer. Not such a great singer, but a great performer.
No, but he plays well.
Yeah, like even when he was in Damn Yankees as well, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, because I was listening to some of that last week, and I'm listening to his lead work, and it's like nothing he did previously in his career. Like, he really reinvented himself with that band. It's not like the same old licks, like a lot of guitar players, they move from project to project, and you're like, yep, that's him type thing. Whereas, like, say, I had to even ask to confirm, I'm like, was that Ted in it? Because he totally reinvented himself in that band.
Plus the fact that I can't say a bad word about him because one of my good friends is his bass player, Greg Smith.
There you go.
Fair enough. Yeah. So have you seen Ted live as a result, Dave?
No. I don't remember. I don't remember the last time they were even close to playing in New York. I can't. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't really hear a lot of, like, other than maybe festival gigs and stuff he does these days, stuff like that. Like the big outdoor stuff in the summer maybe, and that's about it.
I don't go to many shows. I don't go to many concerts. I used to when I was younger. But for me personally, here's the thing. No one sits anymore. Everyone stands, and then you can't see the stage. Number two, YouTube is a wonderful thing. You get a front row ticket to the show that happened last night, right on YouTube. And it's a ton of money to go to concerts. I'd rather put that money into something that's tangible to me, like buying a guitar or buying food for the kitchen table or buying my fiance something. I can't see spending $400, $500 on 2 tickets and you can't see anything. It just doesn't make sense. And that's the way I felt about Van Halen the last time around. In 2015, I went to 2 shows. Both shows, I couldn't see. I was watching from the jumbotrons because I had good seats, but you couldn't see anything because everyone stands up and then everyone smokes pot in front of you, and you get sick and it's just hard. It's a horrible thing these days. It's really bad for me.
Yeah.
What someone else might enjoy, I don't generally enjoy. You know,
Yeah.
I'd much rather, you know, and as you guys all know, if you couldn't tell, Van Halen is my favorite band, and for me to say that about that, you know, that I didn't have a great time at the Van Halen show, there's something wrong. You know, there's something wrong when that happens.
Yeah.
I go to a local theater here, you know, like I'll catch a concert here and there where it's a 600 seat theater, you know, old restored theater where you can still see a quote unquote, you know, washed up band or something like April Wine for $40-50. But like last year I went to what was likely my last major concert, which was Tom Petty. The tickets were almost 200 and we still had to get up to Toronto. We debated staying overnight. You know, because it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours each way, and we decided, no, we'll drive back. But it was not a cheap day by any stretch of the means. Like I say, you know, like I could buy a piece of gear for what it cost me for that ticket. You know, like I'm glad I went to see one of my heroes play, but I'd just as soon wait and see somebody, you know, down the road here for a fraction of the cost.
The one thing about that, though, Ben, is you actually happened to be lucky enough to see him before he passed away. So, I mean, that was $200, but that was an amazing $200 you got to spend.
Yeah. Yeah. And ironically, we only were buying the tickets originally because to warrant the cost, it was supposed to be Joe Walsh opening. But he begged off that leg of the tour and that was the idea. I could see two of my guitar heroes, you know, or two of my heroes, you know, in one show, which kind of made sense, but instead we had oh man, I can never remember his name. Wolf, last name, singer from Jay Giles' band opened for Tom Petty.
Peter Wolf.
Peter Wolf. Yeah.
Peter Wolf, thank you.
Yeah, I'm pretty selective now with shows too. I've only been to 2 this year, and one was Judas Priest, and the other one was Joe Bonamassa. And yeah, but there were some other shows that I was dying to see, like the Cult came through, and I'm a huge Cult fan, but I didn't go to that. But I've seen the Cult live twice before, so I didn't go to that. So it's like
it'll be the better part of an hour for you to get downtown too, wouldn't it?
Well, I TTC'd it. I mean, there's no way in hell I'm driving downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't drive downtown. But anyways, but yeah, like there was a lot of shows that came through, and I'm like, you know what? But the Bonamassa tickets, like they sold them. So I had those tickets since probably January, so far in advance, right? So I knew I was going there, and then so I had to kind of pick and choose, right? You know, but I'll only go to maybe two a year. But what Dave, you were saying, what the beautiful part about Bonamassa is, I was probably one of the younger guys in the watching them. There was a lot of older guys, and they were all sitting there, you know, sitting down. Nobody got up until the last, I'd say, 2 or 3 songs. So that was perfect.
Yeah, I saw Bonamassa a couple of years ago, and it was like that too. You know, people weren't rowdy. And Rick Hefner, yes, I go to a concert to sit down because I'm disabled and I can't stand for long periods of time. So I still like to enjoy it, but I like to sit.
Yeah, I prefer to sit too.
I prefer to sit.
Like stepping up after half an hour. We have a trivia question here. Crack the hack.
Oh, okay.
But since you don't have the chat open, which is good, and I already know the answer to this one. Here it is. What is the connection between Kiss and Jimi Hendrix?
Ace Frehley roadied for Jimmy. He set up Mitch Mitchell's drums at a show in New York, and I even remember the name. Oh no, I can't remember the name of the show, but it was like some festival or something. And he just hung around, and he looked like a musician, so they kind of snuck in backstage. Found out he wasn't, and instead of getting rid of them, they said, "Can you do work?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can set up drums." And he ended up setting up Mitch Mitchell's drums. Is that close enough?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed that.
Yeah.
I heard that story, but I didn't know it exactly. And I knew that it had to do with Ace, though.
Yeah.
In fact, you know what? I think he told that story on that metal show when he was on it. I think that's the story he told.
Yeah. He's mentioned it a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got Suave Trainwreck joining us, and Guitar Girl, who couldn't join us on screen tonight, but she finally got the kid to bed, so she's hanging out in the chat watching.
Hey, Kaylin.
Now, I was going to say he's basically all kind of hit on a great point, though, and the reason why concerts aren't becoming so popular anymore lately is because, you know, as Dave pointed out, you can get access to it in most instances for free online. The pricing is now a lot more jacked up than what it used to be. You almost have to be a semi-millionaire. And again, like you said as well, the concert environment. If you just want to sit there and watch the show, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the beauty of it is a lot of the bands I see, it's people my age and everybody wants to sit. You know, I was able to sit.
Yeah.
Which was bonus.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to do that at Ozfest.
Oh, God, no.
Well, you know, the other side of the argument, which I get, and I know why ticket sales are so expensive. I mean, that's the only way for the bands to make money is by the ticket sales.
That's
yes.
right.
They're not making any money they're not making records. You know, the record companies they're not giving them money. Radio stations don't give the bands money anymore. It's very hard for bands to make money. So they do it how? Ticket sales and merch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
At the same time, I know how old the Rolling Stones are, and they're fantastic, and I love them, and I always will. But $850 for crappy Rolling Stones tickets, that's just nuts. Mm-hmm. I can understand $800 to $1,000 if it's a VIP ticket, first 10 rows.
Yeah,
I get it. That's absolutely understandable if you have the dough to do that. But to charge the layman that's going to be in the last row $850 to see your 90-year-old ass, that's what I say.
Yeah, exactly.
Learn 3 more chords, Keith Richards.
Play all 6 strings. No,
yeah, and add a 6th string. That's what I was just thinking too.
Kidding. But,
and I love Keith Richards. And
I
Kelly players. I love Keith Richards. I love the band. But I think that's highway robbery. I think, you know, a band that's on its way out that you're probably never going to see again, you want to charge $400 to $500 for but $850. Come on.
Dave, that's probably why they're doing it, because that is it. They want to cash out.
But they say that every year.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been saying that since what, Steve Wheels tour?
Like some other band.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about Kiss anymore, right, Pepper?
I don't want to make this a Kiss show. But what I was going to say, though, is, and that kind of goes along with what you were saying, Dave, about bands and not making money from recording. And it's really unfortunate because, like a band, the Rolling Stones just put something out recently, did they not? Didn't they do recording recently?
I know they're on the road right now. They're on the road touring right now.
Okay, no, I mean like making a record. Like,
oh, I think they made it. Yeah, they made a record for this tour. Yeah. Okay,
so there you go. So at least they're still putting out music. What sort of bothers me is there's a lot of bands, and I'm going to say Kiss for one, that are now going on their final road and they're not putting out a record. You know, and the reason they're not doing it is because records don't make money. You know, and their argument is, well, why put out a record if nobody's going to listen to it because they just want to hear the old stuff anyway? I get that. But as a fan, I want a record. Rush, I want Rush to put out another record. Yeah, they don't want to tour, but they're fully capable. Put out another freaking record.
I agree.
The only band that's still putting out records, I keep going back to Judas Priest, but the last 2 records Judas Priest put out are just as good as Screaming for Vengeance back in the 80s. They're that good. Like, they're putting out good stuff, and I'd like to see some of these other classic bands do that. Put out some good new material. And not for the money, but for the people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, Van Halen's another band. I mean,
There you go.
How many times they've been on the road in, you know, 2007, 2012, 2015, and I think they played 1 or 2 new songs.
Right.
Come on, give me a break. How many times I want to hear Panama? I don't want to hear that again. I want to hear something new.
Yeah.
All that music that's in the library, you know, that Eddie's recorded, and no one gets to hear it. That boggles my mind.
Yeah.
You know? It just boggles my mind.
Like their argument is people that go see these bands like Van Halen or Kiss or whatever, they're not the hardcore. Most of those people are people maybe seeing them for the first time, so they want to hear the hits. That's their argument. But what about us hardcore people that have supported them from day one? You know, give us a record. You know, just AC/DC's working on a new record right now.
Oh God.
Okay. So
cool. Is Brian Johnson back in the band, or
Brian
is it?
Johnson is singing on it. They got Phil Rudd playing drums. Okay, they basically are using all Malcolm Young's rhythm tracks. I was actually talking to Scott Nickerson about it today. Apparently, he stockpiled a bunch of stuff when he knew he was getting sick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be basically the original Ben. Well, obviously not Bon Scott, but with Brian Johnson minus the bass player, and that's what you're going to hear on the new AC/DC record. I think that's fantastic. They're still doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's great.
But is it Malcolm's nephew that's playing guitar for them live now?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
as good as Malcolm. He's using all Malcolm's gear.
Yeah.
And he sounds like Malcolm.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate and what a shame that he passed away, but that sound is still there.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, it is.
It's amazing. It's amazing the similarities in the playing style.
I don't know what the hell happened.
He toured with them as early as the mid '90s.
Yeah,
like Malcolm had a rehab stint 20 plus years ago, so it's like he's been around them forever and a day. So, which is good. And like you say, and then the last tour when Malcolm couldn't do it, they said, "Here, use Malcolm's rig. That's the tone," and you can tell he really became a disciple of his uncle because you can use the same gear, but we all sound different playing through the same gear. But like you say, you can't tell the difference. He digs in the same way.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark Dillon, Steve Young.
Yeah, Steve Young. Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mark, and hello, Mark.
I'm really happy that they straightened out this whole Axel business, and I'm going to piss off a lot of people. And they brought Brian Johnson back because that is the voice of AC/DC, and that's who should be on this record.
Well, didn't he get his ears done? Like he had some sort of.
I don't know what.
I think he had surgery to get some hearing back.
Okay, possibly. I don't know.
Yeah, and this is in the last couple of years they've also moved a lot of the stuff off stage using isocabs too, which will help. Definitely lower the overall stage volume, which should help Brian more too.
Well, didn't help that Brian is an avid car fanatic either.
That's loud. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he likes some. I remember the one car show he was on. He was driving around a 1936 racing car. And oh my God, that thing over the camera, it was just like, I'm like, oh my God. And even he came out of it and he's like, oh my God, that's bloody loud.
Yeah.
I just heard from JJ. He's wrapping up. He should be in shortly. He wanted to say hey to everyone on the panel as well as everyone in the chat.
Hey, JJ.
Hey, JJ.
It sounds like they're getting carried away. Apparently, he said his singer is effing rockin'.
That's good.
I'm not going to directly quote JJ, but
that's good.
Awesome. Thanks, Bruce.
Oh God!
My God, Eddie!
Did you read that?
Oh, Eddie.
Yeah, that's funny, Eddie.
A big deposit of earwax was removed from Brian Johnson and fed to koala bears.
QBG with the cranky back. Nice. Very nice. Well, since we're still waiting on JJ, I'm going to talk about it. We talked about it a bit off air. We saw come out news this week about Fender releasing the Jimmy Page signature tellies, 2 incarnations. At the end of the Yardbird phase with the 7 or 8 mirror, and then the slightly later incarnation of the Dragon Telecaster. It's going to be custom shop versions at, I believe they said 50 a piece, and then a production version of each as well, I believe out of Mexico. What have you heard about that, Terry? I know you're a Fender guy.
Again, like you said, 50 limited edition, 50 pieces out of the custom shop, one specifically of the Dragon era, and again, 50 pieces of the Mirror era. And again, once those are sold out, they will be going to the Made in Mexico production. So not sure about pricing. I know somebody's said something about that, but I can imagine it's not going to be too many people affording the custom shop version.
Yeah.
But I definitely can't wait. I am a Jimmy Page fan, and I really do love those early years of Zeppelin and Yardbird stuff. So I know it'd probably be out of my price range, but I really do look forward to kind of seeing it when it all comes out.
So it's going to go production once they're out of the 50, once they run out. Is that what you're saying?
I believe so.
Out of Mexico.
Yeah, I like that idea because that's kind of the first time we've heard of a reproduction or a signature like coming out that isn't at least at the USA price point, right? Like this is going to be a reissue that's affordable, right? Well, I suppose they were doing the Hendrix Strats out of Mexico too.
Yeah, I was going to say what would be cool is if they followed the Player Series model where they made it in Mexico but used USA parts.
Yeah,
that would
probably be. I wouldn't be surprised if it is like that. Like it's got a scale.
Yeah, that I'd go for.
I know you were talking about it the other night, Dave. You got any follow up on that as well? I kind of like the idea of the Mexican production.
No, I don't. I mean, I haven't read anything new on it. I wish I had more specs, more info. But I'll get on it. I'd like to see a mid-price custom shop version that's not $12,000.
Yeah,
if that guitar could be made for $3,500, I think a lot of them will sell.
That's true.
Yeah. That's probably what they're going to do.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping when at first I heard like 2 different ones, I thought maybe they were going to also do the Brown B-Bender Telly as well. But
I wish, I love that guitar. Absolutely love. I'm in love with that guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Johnny Bean in the house. He's telling, he says apparently he wants Dave to build the candy corn thing.
I'm not building a candy corn. He wants me to build a corn on the cob from candy corn. Yeah. But the thing is, there's a such thing. You glue all the candy corn pieces in circles until you make this big corn on the cob thing. And and I have this bag of candy corn here, and I don't want to do it.
Hey, we got Brian Fingerless Guitar in here as well. Welcome, buddy.
Hey, Brian, how are you, man?
And I did see Old Man Dan as well. I forgot to say hi to him as well earlier.
There's another thing I was just thinking about now that Fender could do. They could do the Telecaster, but they also could do the Stratocaster, or a Stratocaster like he used briefly in the late 70s.
The Lake Placid blue one?
Yeah.
But there's nothing special about that guitar other than it being like a 1965 or so. It was a normal Strat.
Yeah.
I think the mystique behind the Telly is the Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just realized I forgot as well too. The Fender 12 string was another guitar.
Oh yeah, sure. I wish Dane Electro would make an exact replica of his Dane Electro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't cost too much money. Just put a set of Grovers on it and, you know, beat it up slightly, send it on its way. It's only a $300 guitar to begin with.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Of course, I would love to see another reissue Les Paul Jimmy Page guitar, but that's just me.
I always said if you're going to spend the money on a signature Les Paul, get the Jimmy Page, because that way you're also getting a Joe Walsh signature Les Paul.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and don't make it a limited thing. Just make it a model that you can always get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm so glad that Gibson has a new CEO. Don't get me started on that.
Hey, they can go there, Dave.
Yeah.
Speaking. Oh, sorry. If you're going to say something, Dave, go ahead.
No, you know, I'm just glad that Henry Jeskowitz is gone, because that guy, you know, if he was twice as smart as he was, he'd still be a moron.
No, I got an example that sort of typifies the whole Gibson thing. There's a guitar, and it's on their website, or the lot when Henry was still around. It's a red guitar, and it has a gold leaf dog, right? And it's supposed to be like a Chinese New Year thing.
Oh, the Chinese New Year one, yeah.
Okay. And I saw this thing in person, actually at Cosmo, and I think it was selling for somewhere in the neighborhood of about $5,000. So I saw this like about over a year ago. And it's hanging there in their room in the back where they've got all the higher end stuff. So then I go away, and I come back almost a year later, and guess what I'm still seeing hanging up on that wall?
Of course.
Who the hell is going to buy that thing, man? Like, come on. What my God. You know, that's like putting a mustache on the Mona Lisa. Like, you don't mess with that iconic guitar in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's got to look.
Do that. You do it as a one-off, as a custom job for somebody who specifically orders it.
No, the production model, man, makes no sense to me.
Yeah, they did production of it. I can't remember. I think it was a 5,000 piece run of it.
They did 5,000 of those things?
I believe so.
Somebody lose a bet? What was that about?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, speaking of Gibson, and speaking of new instruments, there actually was a new release by Gibson.
Oh?
The Paul. If you look on Sweetwater, there is a Les Paul The Paul. They have reissued.
Okay, I gotta check that out.
All mahogany body.
Because that worked the first time around.
Yeah.
I was just thinking.
But apparently they've almost it got featured on the Trogley, I believe. He mentioned it, and it's on Sweetwater. $1,400 US, almost an identical replica of the originals back in the 80s, except a deeper belly cut, and instead of an ebony fingerboard, they actually have a rosewood fingerboard. But it has the all original walnut body, actually has the volute. It's got almost everything identical to what they were back in the day.
And they're all 15 pounds.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine walnut. It's like saying, here, I'll make this boat anchor a Les Paul.
I played a walnut Les Paul, but I played a walnut Strat, and I definitely noticed a difference in weight.
The cool thing, and I think I mentioned this to you, Ben, is that new Les Paul Jr., the double cut red with the
yeah, you're all over that.
1P90 on it. I'm lucky enough to get my hands on it. That thing sounded like gold, man. It's a one-trick pony. That's the only thing. It's
really, you think a Junior's a one-trick pony? Because
for what I do, it's a one-trick pony. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love those guitars. I'm in love with Juniors, and
I love them too, buddy. It's a rock machine, but I don't know. Can I play a clean song on that?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah.
Roll the volume down.
Price is right. I'll tell you that. I mean, geez, in Canada, that thing was $800, and for us,
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's a single coil. They sound great clean.
P90.
They really do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
roll the volume down just a tiny bit, and you know you're all there.
I absolutely loved it. It felt great. It played great. I'm like, man. I went back a week later. It was gone. Oh yeah, somebody still bought that, picked it up because they saw what I saw. It's a great guitar for that money. That's a real.
Just for since we're talking about it, I did watch on YouTube quite a few months back in the middle of the summer, George Lynch, and that's all he was using for 3 songs was a Junior. And let me tell you, wow, he was playing Hendrix, he was playing everything else over it without an issue.
Yeah,
like, just blew me away.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, speaking of P90s hack, Terry knows. What was that during Steve from Boston show last night? I think I was in touch with my buddy Travis at Reno Fin, and we are now officially releasing a set of the P90 pickups that are in my telly are now available for sale retail at $150 Canadian for the pair.
Oh, that's not bad, man. That's really good, actually.
Yeah. So those are going to be up on the website within the week. You just reminded me when you mentioned P90s, and I told them I'd mention it on air tonight. So they will be available for sale through the renofin.ca website. $150 plus shipping.
Nice.
And if you're a friend of mine, contact me directly. Might be able to help you out.
Yeah. Yeah, and they changed the 2019 classics now. They put in 61 pickups, zebras.
Yeah.
And I think that's basically it. The rest of it is the same as it was last year. They did P90s. This year they're doing the 61s. I've yet to play one. I'd like to try one out and see how it sounds. I don't know how close the 61s are to the 57s. I've never played a 61. So.
And did they keep that volute they added on the back of the neck the last couple of years?
There's been no volute, not on the classics or the standards.
No. It's only that reissue.
Yeah.
As far as I know, only that reissue of the Paul that they have a volute on.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything that was made in the late 70s to I guess like the early 80s. They all had volutes, so they come with volutes, but
yeah, nothing. Yeah,
nothing new. Nothing old.
Last year they started adding some, saying like, "Hey, we've listened to you. We're adding this, extra material to try to cut down."
That's the ugliest thing I've ever seen on a guitar.
A volute?
Yeah.
I don't care how much stronger it makes your guitar look, or it's gonna. If you drop that guitar with the volute on, the headstock's still gonna break.
Yeah.
If you ever played, like I played an old Les Paul a long time ago, and it's the first time I came across a volute, and it's the weirdest thing in your hand. When you're playing, you're trying to play an F, and it's like you got something in your. It's just weird.
Yeah. It's like I know exactly what you mean.
It's very odd, And if you got small hands like I do, it doesn't help. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I only have one guitar with a volute like that. Like my Martin has one, and it still throws me off when I see it.
But on a Martin guitar, it's acceptable because that's the way they made that guitar since the inception of the guitar. Those vintage guitars had it, and it's not the same type of volute, and they have it on there for a different reason. I can't remember exactly what the reason is, but I read about it. It's not the same reason that Gibson put them on. I don't remember.
I had enough mass for like right where the truss rod is, right at the nut, because the Martin headstock is fairly like a Les Paul, is fairly thin too. There's not a lot of wood right there. Those necks get pretty darn small.
Yeah.
Are you a traditionalist, Dave, when it comes to Les Pauls? You like a Les Paul to look like a Les Paul? Are you one of those guys?
Yes. Here's the way. This is the way I like all guitars. If you're going to make a reissue of a guitar, make it look like the year you're reissuing. Just make it look like an original one. Don't say that, oh, it's a reissue, but it's got a changed heel. It's got to change this. No, make a reissue that is, if it looks like, just say, you know, a 1960 Strat. Make it like a 1960 Strat.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
If I'm going to buy a reissue of something, I want it to look like I want it to look and kind of resemble and feel like the original. Granted, you know, vintage guitars are vintage guitars. They've had, you know, many people playing with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, necks get worn down. Everything, you know, they gain a soul. I get it. But if you're going to make a vintage reissue of a guitar, make me a reissue of the way of that guitar was when it was brand new. It doesn't have to be a reissue of what it looks like right this minute. You know, because every guitar at some point was a brand new guitar.
Yeah.
Just make it look like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you. That makes sense.
Yeah, I fully agree. Yeah, it's not just because, well, you know, this paint was available in 1962, so we're going to call it a 62 reissue because it's this color, and nothing else is the same. No.
Kind of reminds me of one of the things I've seen on Trogley was he got a Les Paul, and I think it was a 78 or something like that. It was one of those late 70s, early 80s where the volute was still on the neck.
Mm.
So he goes and he checks the serial number, and he's like, okay, well, the neck doesn't seem right. So he goes and he finds other reference pictures of the same year, and all of them had a volute. And apparently, the guy had broke the neck, shipped it back to Gibson for repair. Gibson put on a brand new neck, but did not put a volute on the replacement neck.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's another annoying thing. Like back in the day, you'd break a fender neck, something would happen, and they'd send you a guitar with a new neck, or they'd fix your neck and refinish it, but put a different logo on. Like it had a spaghetti logo on it when it got to you. Why do I have a transition logo on it now? That's not right,
Wow.
you know?
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. I got a question for you, Dave.
Sure.
So, why is it? Okay, I'm going to switch to Gibson for a second. I can play 3 Les Pauls, same year, same model, same everything, but I still find a difference neck to neck.
Because they were all hand sanded by different people. They were all hand done. Nowadays, everything's done on a CNC machine.
Right.
Yeah, the final sanding, you know, someone, you know, wipes it off with a piece of sandpaper. But all those necks back in the 50s, you know, late, all of them, they were all hand shaped by different people. And there's no way to get an exact, every one of them exactly the way they were. They were all close. Some of them, you know, it depend on the day of week. You know, you ever heard of, you know, you don't want a Friday guitar, you don't want a Monday guitar.
Yeah, you want
because it's the first day back, you know, from a drunken weekend. You don't want the guy building you that guitar. You kind of want a Wednesday guitar, Thursday guitar, because by that time everyone's got their crap together.
Right.
And, you know, yeah, they're looking forward to the weekend, but they're on a roll. They're making great guitars in the middle of the week. You know?
Yeah. Well, I thought with all the machining and stuff that in this day and age.
Well, this day and age, yes.
It's still,
but
I still find differences sometimes.
And again, every piece of wood is different.
There's still a human element to it.
Yeah. And you know, you want it to be. I think you want it to be because it makes it more realistic, like to the old ones, because not every old one was exactly the same.
Yeah. That's why I've got a big, I mean, I've got guitars around that I can try. I could never see myself just ordering one just for that reason, because I'd have to play it. I'd have to play it. And I have the ability to play it, like the luxury that I can do so. But that would be one of the reasons, because if I ordered a guitar and I didn't get along with a neck, I think I'd be going back.
You always return it.
Yeah, well, if I have the option, I'd rather drive 20 minutes and just go through 4 or 5 of them and then find one. But yeah,
I agree with you. I happen to have very good luck.
Oh yeah,
I like every guitar that I pick, every guitar that I've gotten, whether I've gone to get it or I've had it shipped to me. Excuse me, they're all amazing.
Yeah.
I happen to have really good luck that way, and people all the time say, "Hey, if you want a good guitar, let Nesdal find it for you." Because you know, not that I'm patting myself on the back, but I seem to have that ability where every guitar I pick is like, you know, the best version of that guitar. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't had a lemon.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a lemon, you know, but
yeah, you've got good luck. That's exactly what it is.
I think that's what I think it's, you know, I mean, I don't have good luck health-wise, but I've got good luck picking guitars.
Yeah. Yeah.
True enough. Got a question. Ty asks, Ben, do you like Dane Electro guitars? I don't mind Dane Electro guitars. I wish they would cut the price in half, because it seems like they jack up the prices on them, but I haven't seen any improvement in quality. I think they're vastly overpriced for what they are. Other than that, I think they're an alright guitar.
Well, how much are they in Canada?
They're pushing like $700-800 bucks.
Well, that's insane. I mean, you just cross the border and you'll pay $350 for it.
Yeah, yeah. They basically charge
cross the border back and have to pay the
duty on
it. Yeah, that's
put a sticker on it.
Said, big bag, Gary.
Man, put a couple dings in it and
yeah. Do you think I declared my Kramer when it came across the border this year? No.
Yeah, that's just it. You have to do the dishonest route.
Yeah, well, it was easier with the used guitar anyways.
Yeah,
right?
it's used. I was just going to say.
Yeah, used, it's a bit different, I would think. But anything brand spanking new, we definitely get hosed because of the U.S. to Canadian. I mean, it's the same thing as buying stuff from Thomann. If you bought stuff from Thomann Music down there in the States, you are getting some amazing deals at stuff from Thomann because your shipping to the U.S. is low. Our shipping, if I was to buy, say, even the cheapest 7-string Harley Benton guitar, which is $170 Canadian, I still have to pay $76 in shipping to get it over here. Yeah. Someone down in the States, they only got to pay $30 U.S. shipping.
Well, I think that depends on how far it's getting shipped, because I've shipped guitars from New York to Tennessee, and it's $40, and I've shipped guitars from New York to California, and it's $90.
Yeah,
so I think it depends on how far it's going.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Canada, the USA from Thomann in Germany is pretty much the same distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it's just again, like what I was saying, the US dollar right now is definitely beneficial for US folks versus most other countries.
Well, do you remember the golden age? I don't know, Ben, maybe you remember, Terry, back in, I would say, early 90s, maybe 93, 94, when our dollar was basically at par. And
I remember when it was actually $1. An American dollar was actually worth like $1.10. I think at the highest it was like $1.25, like what it is for most of the U.S. is now.
Well, there was
their dollar versus our Canadian.
This was the golden age because our dollar was high, and at the time the gear in the U.S. was cheap, so it didn't reflect the dollar. And we used to get, alleged people that I may or may not have known. And would buy gear and bring it back over, and you would be, because the same piece of gear here, even though our dollar was at par, would be 1.5, sometimes 2 times the price. So these guys would go down there and they'd buy like Fender amps and stuff and bring them over. And we used to get them for, oh man, what a deal that was. And then what they used to do is kind of mess them up a little bit so they look used. We used to do that all the time. No problem.
Timmy's.
Thank you.
No, I can give a prime example. Back in December, I believe it was 2002, when I went to move away from my Jack and Danny Brothers Les Paul, I got from Rondo Music a Agile AL 3010 wide fretboard model, and I paid in total at the time the import fee that they paid directly and so forth and so forth. It cost me 513 Canadian at the time. Now, I was looking at Epiphone Les Paul Pros or Les Paul Customs, and for me to just buy the guitar itself with how our market was, it was 560. But a year or so ago, I went and I started looking back, thinking, oh, I'm kind of getting the craving to get another one again. And the price compared to when I last bought that model at, I think it was a $399 price point US, to look at that price point like in the last 2 years, that guitar now with the Canadian to the US conversion rate is now a $750 guitar. Like, it's just crazy. Like almost $250 price difference.
Wow. Crazy. We got a question. JC Smith asks, do you think that digital modeling will get to the point where vintage reissues will be unnecessary? I don't think so, because for every guy that's into modeling and stuff like that, which makes sense if you don't want to lug a bunch of gear, for the guys that still just plug directly into an amp or maybe use one pedal into an amp, they're still going to want that vintage amp.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a market. Everyone's going to still have a desire for vintage stuff. And especially when there becomes too much digitalized stuff. People will want to go back and say, well, hey, I hear how this sounds over this model, but what does the original sound like? So people start to go back and look like, what was this 1977 Fender Reverb like? And they'd actually go and search it out. Like, that's probably what's going to still happen in the future. Like, still probably a long time away, even though technology is advanced by leaps and bounds and is still going by leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Another take on that is, if you're in a little bar band like myself, we're always going to be using amps. They're not going to go away. We're never going to run stuff through a PA. That's never going to happen. The places we play are too small for that, and we're just going to, plug in our amps and play straight out. And that's
and you're just writing your vocals through the PA. Only
vocals through PA. I mean, if we mic a drum, that's a big deal. But the rest of it is straight through the PA. So we're always going to need amps, and then of course you want the nice sounding amps. So, so I don't think that's, unless bar bands go the way of the,
dodo bird.
Oh, I hope not.
Reminds me of my experience.
A lot of weekends for a lot of us.
Yeah.
I was going to say, reminds me of my experience up north of me at the famous Key to Bala.
Oh, yeah. The Key to Bala. Yep.
And I went up there with my bud Jason, who lives a few blocks away, and we went and we seen Creedence Clearwater Revival tribute band. I think one of the more popular ones in Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
And the one band in the beginning, oh my God, they had everything mixed through to the PA, and it just sounded so garbled. But then when that Creedence Clearwater Revival band came on, they only had specific things through the PA, and it sounded amazing compared to the first people. Like, they had a proper sound setup and the PA set up properly. So, I mean, that's the other thing as well, too, with mixing everything through to the PA, it could actually be too much for a PA system to handle as well too if the venue doesn't have a very good one.
Yeah. If they have a PA system designed primarily for vocals, you put a bass through it, it's just going to be parting out or not even registering the frequencies.
So, do you guys want a little sneak peek of something?
Oh,
Of course we do. Of course we do.
what's
How about that? Is that okay?
Yeah, that works.
I'll show you.
Pepper's
I'll show you guys the rest of it once we get off of here.
Okay.
Pepper's like, see ya, folks.
I'm not going anywhere. That's all I'm saying.
He's probably saying, "Get me another Timmy's."
Now when you hang that carrot, oh look, yeah, your favorite, Ben.
Oh yeah. Love that.
What?
stuff.
She didn't get you the hockey cards? Like the commercial.
Yeah.
I see Jamal says he feels like the next generation guitarists will use the latest technology available as things progress, but there will always be players that love the vintage gear. Yeah. I think you're always going to have your Jack White types out there that are just going to be very do-it-yourself, keep it simple, vintage tone.
It's actually funny that Jamal just mentions this. I'm sure Jimi Hendrix would be using the latest gear just to create a new sound. Oddly enough, I was watching an interview with Eddie Kramer talking about the new 5.1 digital remixed Are You Experienced album. And that was one of the things that he said that he had a hard time to do, was to take how they got all those effects back then, which was crazy enough to begin with them trying to figure out how to make sound act a certain way. And he said then he had to try to sit there with a mixing board and point the sounds to actually go through the surround channels. But he was saying he thinks he hit it right on the head with how he mixed it. And he also said he thinks that if Jimmy was alive at this point in time and day, he thinks that as well that Jimmy would have embraced that ability to be able to use multi-channel sound more than what they were able to back in the day.
Yeah. I can see that. Because he was a very forerunner and looking for new ways to do stuff. So
For sure. You know, speaking of like the modern thing, and I'm going to sound like a very old guy right now, but one thing I said to my daughter when we went to see Joe Bonamassa on Friday is, as I told her, I go, listen, every note that you hear being played is played by humans. Every note is being played on an instrument by humans. None of this is pre-recorded. None of this was done on a laptop. This is all real people playing real music. And that's what I think is hopefully not going to die out, but I think over time that's kind of how it's going. Guitar playing is going to be an app on your iPhone. You know what I mean? That's the old guy speaking.
Bend a
right,
chord, touch here.
So she's headed off to bed. She says, have a great show, bro. Hope you're feeling better, sis. Thanks for tuning in.
Good night, Amanda.
Good night.
Good night. Sleep tight.
Don't let Sam wake you up too much. I know it doesn't rhyme, but it's
Don't
true.
let the Sam squinch bite.
Very cool. So yeah, if you guys have any other questions in the chat, of course, feel free to ask. Not sure what's up with JJ at this point. I think he's getting carried away in the studio, so
Yeah.
we can't blame him for that.
No.
Making music. What's wrong with that? So Terry, do you have that offset handy that you picked up recently?
Which one? I have two offsets.
Did you pick up both of them recently?
Well, the Jaguar I picked up like 2 weeks earlier or whatever, but talking about the Jazz Master, yes.
Jazz Master, yes.
That still has the
Mind
broken
checking that
string
out.
on it. Just a second.
We also got asked earlier, Pepper, if you could show off your Les Paul apparently. I can't remember who it was.
Gotta be more specific. Which one?
Probably the one that's right behind you.
Oh, this one. I'll let Terry do his thing, and then I'll grab it.
You grab it. Actually, speaking of which, I should actually probably pull the string out.
Present you there. There we go.
Yeah, that's nice, man.
Cool.
Yeah, 2011, made in Mexico. Jazzmaster HS.
Are you okay with that scale length, Terry?
Actually, with the Jazzmasters, they're 25.5.
Okay.
Whereas the Jaguar is actually 24.
Yeah. Okay, so okay.
So yeah, like I was saying to, can't remember if I was saying it to Ben or whoever, but the neck on these, I was finding the neck on this to have a really, really gave me a very similar feel to my very first guitar that I bought with my own money. And there goes the whammy bar. Ting. As I said, I had a mid-80s, made in Japan 68 reissue Fender Stratocaster, Olympic white maple neck. And the neck on that made in Mexico Jazzmaster, it feels a hell of a lot like that nice neck that the made in Japan guitar had. I really was vibing. I really liked the feel of the guitar, but I wasn't a fan of the 7 1/4 radius at the time.
Great for the cowboy chords.
Yeah. Now, in regards to the Jaguar,
There we go.
again, yeah, that's a 24-inch scale, 22 fret. I did actually make a recent change on this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I took the was it Music Maker or whatever tuners that I had on the Strat neck, and I put them on this neck because they're pretty much like set vintage. But yeah, I mean, like as soon as I seen that, I said, you know what, that's gonna look a lot sharper.
Looks good
together like that. So
did those come with the pearl ends on it?
No. This is the Squire one. So it comes with the regular silver ones like they use like on the classic vibes, the poke in, just like how these ones are. But these are like the tuners that come on the like the Bronco, you know, the Bronco single pickup like student models. The tuners on that were this style of tuner on all of them that had the little plasticky kind of button. Yeah. Now I just got to get a tremolo arm for this, and it would be all pretty much set.
Is it the same one that's in the Jazzmaster?
Actually, now you mention it.
Should be.
Well, now you got the arm.
Yeah, there you go. Just flip it up between the two, other than the black tip. But I guess at the same time that would still work.
Yeah.
But I priced out an arm, and if I was really that much wanting to replace it, I don't have to necessarily spend $24 or in upwards of $54 for a Fender replacement. You can actually find a replacement one for like $6 on Guitar Fetish. So it's like, I mean, that's the one thing with Guitar Fetish. I've used a lot of Guitar Fetish stuff, and you know, there are definitely some garbage stuff or, you know, low quality stuff, but they do have some sleeper stuff that, you know, fits the bill.
Yeah, that's
Very nice. How about showing off that Les Paul now, Pepper?
Sure.
I can't remember who had asked earlier.
I've shown this one already a few times, I think, but so this is that's a 2016, sorry, standard. Right?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. It's this is, they call this the light burst. That's what this finish is. So yeah. Like when I was asking Dave earlier about you know, the necks on the guitars, the reason I was asking is I went through 6 of these before I found one that I liked. So
Makes sense.
yeah. 6 guitars, man. And this one actually I saw, this was out of town. I saw a picture of it. And this is kind of weird, but I saw a picture of it and I emailed the store, and it was in Peterborough. And yeah, and it was the Evil Empire, Ben. So I asked them. Sorry, man.
Of course it was.
Yeah, because I had a buddy that worked there at the time. Anyway, so I said, can you send that over to a local store? So what they did is the 2 stores swapped Les Pauls, just so that my store closer to me got that one. So I went in one day, you know, I got a call, it's here, come try it out. And I tried it out, and thank God that one worked. And it's it plays really, really nice. It's a nice guitar. Burstbucker Pros. It's got balls for days. Nice guitar.
I was going to say, it kind of looks like a cross between a cherry sunburst and a honeyburst.
Yeah. It's a light, yeah. It's not, the honeyburst has got a little bit of a brown tinge.
Yeah.
This is
maybe
like,
even could call it a caramel burst. Maybe even.
Well, you know what?
Light
I think
caramel.
the camera lighting.
Yeah.
That's what's throwing you. But I mean, looking at it right here, I see like the red. I don't see any like caramel brown. There's no brown to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a teardrop, and that's another thing too that I don't know. Being the traditionalist, my bursts have to be teardrop. I'm not a fan of the perimeter burst. I mean, they came on, I don't know, when did they do you know, Dave, when they started doing the perimeter burst? It's been around for what, 5-6 years maybe?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why they started doing that, you know, because now there's almost an equal number of teardrop as perimeter. And the perimeter ones just, they turn me off.
To me, I think it's probably an aesthetics/color thing. Certain colors would probably look better as a perimeter versus a teardrop.
Yeah.
What I'd love to get my hands on, and I had one and I sold it, but I sold it because I wasn't crazy about the guitar, but it was a beautiful tobacco burst.
Oh, I love tobacco burst.
Yeah, but
Well,
you know what?
That's what this guitar was when it was new. When it was new, it was a tobacco burst, and it has faded a lot. But it has, you know, it's. I'm not going to show it just yet. But
Yeah,
there's a lot. You'll see it. It's a lot of red. There's very little black left on it.
yeah. And it's really hard to find a nice tobacco burst because like for me, I still want to see a little bit of the grain on the dark part. I don't want it to be just completely blacked out. And a lot of times the tobacco burst is probably one of their harder ones to do because a lot of the ones I see, it's not symmetrical, the tier, and it's oversprayed quite often. So I actually had the best looking friggin' tobacco burst. One of the best ones I ever saw, but the guitar just never really bonded with it, so I ended up selling it. I'd like to get another tobacco burst, but one that plays better.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We got Lando in the house. Good to see you, Lando. He says good morning. Didn't realize there was a time change between here and Ottawa.
Yeah.
The Truman Show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Or whatever the heck it was that line was.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think I'm going to wrap things up, guys. I want to thank everyone in the chat that asked some great questions here earlier. Excuse me. And, of course, thank everyone for tuning in. We had a few new names in here. So if you're new, please subscribe and ring that bell and leave a thumbs up. And I just want to go around and see if anyone's got any parting words, starting with Mr. Dave Nesdall. Have anything to add, sir?
See you on the next trip.
Definitely. You'll be able to see Dave next, I would say, Tuesday evening over on Johnny Bean's channel. Links down below.
Yeah. Hopefully, I won't be wearing the same hoodie.
And if you are, maybe there's a laundry day between now and Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. How about you, Guitar Hack? Anything to add, sir?
I got Cheddar Kung Pao coming on tomorrow. If anybody's around to see that. And I have you coming on, Dave, and I don't remember the date. I think it's still a couple weeks.
You didn't tell me what the date was. You told me that you'd let me know when it comes closer.
Oh,
I think it's sometime this month. I think it's in November.
Really?
Yeah. Unless you push me back.
Well, let me, when we're off there, I'll check my calendar. But yeah, so anyway, so tomorrow I got Cheddar Kung Pao, so check that out at 7 o'clock.
Awesome. Cool. Terry, anything to add, sir?
In the immortal words of Red Green, if a woman can't find you handsome, she can at least find you handy. Take care, folks.
There you go. I will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern with my friend Michiel from Studio Shamil out of Belgium. That should be a fun show. We're going to be talking gear demos, gear in general, bass playing apparently. You know, Michiel's quite the bass player. He's also a guitar player as well. We'll be talking to him. And then after that, this coming Thursday, Richie will be back for another episode of Connects with Guitars at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And 1 week from tonight, we'll see. We have an unconfirmed guest for 1 week from tonight. So there we go. So again, I want to thank everyone for coming and helping out on the roundtable tonight. Thank everyone again in the chat. It's been awesome. You guys had some great comments and questions. I know I got some good questions there and a couple of laughs from some of the comments too. So, you know, what more can you want on a Sunday night? So everyone have a great night. Hold those doors open. Let that guy in ahead of you in traffic. Do good things, and good things will happen to you, folks. Rock on, peace, and be good to one another. Cheers.
Good night, everybody.